to see you here. I know you've been doing a really grand job of fighting hard for the hospital. You heard me say at the beginning that it's one of the number one issues. It is the number one issue actually in this constituency that's been raised with me on the doorstep. People feel thoroughly let down that under this government the accident and emergency has been downgraded and then closed. And what we're seeing week in, week out is a drip, drip, drip close of services at the hospital. And I think what people feel in this constituency is that they're playing second fiddle to those who are supported by Kingsmill Hospital. I met a lady today who had suffered from a stroke, who had to travel and fortunately got there in time, but there are people who haven't got there in time. And if you elect me as an MP, I will fight hard to protect not only Newark Hospital but the NHS more broadly, because actually what's happened with the hospital goes to the heart of the government's policy on the NHS. Sacking people in the NHS as a result of his top-down reorganisation, which, by the way, he promised would never happen, only a year later to take some of them on. I will fight really hard for you to see services return to Newark Hospital. I'm visiting Newark Hospital tomorrow. But actually, you know, Doreen, and I know that the East Midlands Ambulance Service is part of the problem as well. Worst response times in the country under this government. And, you know, it's not rocket science about worst response times and people not getting to hospital in time. If you've got to travel 30 or 40 minutes to get to your accident and emergency, guess what? Mortality rates are going to go up and people are going to suffer. You need somebody who's going to fight on the NHS. The Labour Party and me as a candidate are the only people you can trust to fight for the NHS. David Cameron's wasted £3 billion on his top-down reorganisation that should have been spent here in Newark on supporting Newark Hospital.